I'm Megan Huth. I'm kind of 5.5 year. My major professor is Anne Marie Ryan. Okay, originally I'm from Anchorage, Alaska. I was born there, and I went all through public school there until I graduated. At that point, I left to fly all the way across the country to New Haven, Connecticut, where I went to Yale University, where I got my Bachelor of Arts in Psychology. That was a great experience. I learned a lot there. I made some really good friends. The culture shock between Alaska and Yale was kind of great, but I really had such an amazing, valuable experience there. I don't think it would change anything. After Yale, I had originally wanted to go into clinical psychology, and I had actually applied to clinical graduate programs directly from my senior year at Yale, but I went on a couple of interviews and it wasn't really clicking. So I decided not to go directly to graduate school and to try something else out. So I decided I wanted to try something totally different, and I applied for a job in politics as a communications and research assistant on a Senate campaign. This was 2004, so it was a big political year. So I went back to Alaska to work on that campaign, and it was a really interesting job experience because I was working crazy hours, high pressure, not making very much money. But I was working with a ton of people who loved their jobs, and even though I was working these crazy hours with like not a lot of money, I loved it, and it was really fun, and we were really committed, and I loved my candidate, and then we lost, and it was heartbreaking. It was like breaking up with a significant other, and at the end of the 6 months, I kind of went home to where my parents lived, and was deciding what to do next, and I decided to go to Washington, D.C. because I really liked politics. But the only job I could find was as a legal assistant. I thought, I like the law, my brother's a lawyer, I might try that out. And there I was making quite a bit more money, but I really didn't enjoy the work. So I was getting all these extrinsic rewards, but I wasn't getting any of the intrinsic value I got on the campaign. So I was really self-examining my own work and finding that I was having this trouble understanding my own motivations, and how really interesting it was that I was having these very different experiences with work, and that what traditionally I thought would motivate me, money, was not motivating me at all, and that I was finding it really interesting. So that's when I started thinking about IO psychology, where it really motivates employees and gets us out of bed in the morning to go to work, and it might not be what people traditionally think motivates people. So that's when I started applying to graduate programs, and that's what brought me here to Michigan State. So when I was applying to grad schools, I basically did a U.S. News and World Report search for the top-ranked programs. And IO psychology is not a huge field. There aren't a ton of schools that even offer IO psychology. Michigan State has been ranked #1 for many years. I think we're at 13 or 14 years as ranked #1 now. So I basically just chose the top 10 to apply to. And Michigan State has been so consistently ranked in the top that when I heard back from Michigan State early, it was the first school I heard from, that I had been accepted, I was like, well, great, the #1 school wants me. And then I heard that I got the fellowship, so it was, one, I was accepted by the best school, and two, they were giving me more money than anybody else. It was almost like a no-brainer at that point that I was going to come here. And one of the things that the schools do is they have recruitment weekends where they fly everybody out. We get to tour the campus, meet the people we'll be going to classes with, and our cohorts are pretty small in IO psychology generally, and they flew 7 people out for recruitment, which is actually a large cohort in our group. And all of us liked each other in the program so much that we all accepted, which is unusual. But we've all made it through. We're all graduating, so it's been a great experience, and they're some of my closest friends. So I'm really happy I chose MSU. I think it's the best place for me. So IO psychology stands for Industrial Organizational Psychology, and it's basically the psychology of work. So it encompasses a huge range of things, anything from leadership to teamwork, to my specialty, which is work-life balance. What I do is I study how people manage the time they invest in work versus the time they invest at home, and how this affects both their emotional well-being and their productivity at work. And since throughout my time here, I've worked on various projects with Anne Marie and also with people who work in the business school, professors and grad students over there, to try to better understand how people are struggling with work-life balance and ways that we can maybe help people deal with this better. Especially in today's world where parents are working, both parents are working more often, so it's not as common to have a more traditional family structure where one parent will stay home and take care of children. Demands on time for working parents are stronger than ever, and it's more of a necessity for both parents to work. So it's really important that we try to help reduce the stress of working parents and all workers to help them better be happy with their personal lives and their work lives. So my dissertation is really about, trying to better understand how people are dealing with these stresses, these demands on their time from a work perspective, so it doesn't bleed too far over into their personal lives. And I really think that this is a timely topic. In our economy right now, there's a lot of push to work harder, work longer hours, and a lot of people are feeling really the stress in their personal lives from this push to be more productive at work. And I'm really interested in, how can we help people better deal with this? So the UDF, I think, is a really unique fellowship in that it frees up your time, your first and your final year, from working in either a research assistantship or a teaching assistantship, meaning that my first year it allowed me to get involved in more projects than I would have otherwise been able to, because I wasn't doing a teaching assistantship or a research assistantship for pay. So I was able to diversify a little bit early on and get my hands in more projects, which I think helped me get started earlier and get more involved than I maybe would have been able to otherwise. And this final year, it has been amazingly helpful because I've been able to really focus on getting my dissertation finished. If I had to do a teaching assistantship, for example, I think my dissertation writing would have gone much slower. And maybe I would have had to take an extra semester to finish it up, which would have delayed my whole getting a job process and all of that. So I have just really enjoyed the freedom it's given me to kind of design my own schedule and really focus on the things that I need to get done at each stage of my graduate school development. So I think that I'm pretty lucky, especially in this economy, in that I have a job lined up that I'll be starting in about a month, and with a really amazing company. So I'm starting with Google in a month with their people analytics team, and this group really works to try to help their employees, have better experience in all realms of the Google life. And the team that I'm working on is working on their employee survey. So I will be helping design it, helping implement it, and then helping analyze and implement the results of that survey. So I'm almost done with my graduate school career here, which has been amazing and has shaped me as both a scientist and a person. And I am just so excited to start this next step of my life and go work with a really amazing group of people over at Google. And part of the graduate school here has been super flexible because I was able to leave Michigan State last summer, I guess it's 2 summers ago now, and do an internship in California with Google. And I left for 6 months, and they just kind of put my assistantships on hold, and I came back and I was able to start back up again. And that internship really was the foot in the door I needed to get the full-time job. So I already know a lot of what my job is going to be like when I get out there. I already know a lot of the people I'm going to be working with, so it was a really amazing opportunity for me to be able to have that internship, which I was able to take because I felt so supported in this program to be able to leave and then come back and step right back into the dissertation and finishing that up here. So my future plans are to work there and hopefully progress through that company, through management, through that group of people, which is full of amazing IO psychologists and organizational behavior PhDs as well, and hopefully stay there as long as I can.